Hi, we are going to talk about Chapter 3B in Oracle today, and mostly what 3B is about is simply querying a single table. So within your database, whether it be the Northwoods database or Clearwater Traders database, you have anywhere from 10 to 12 tables. 3B queries and has you query in a variety of ways information from only a single table. Now, what you need though at this point, let's go back into Moodle. So what we see here is what you use in Chapter 3A are the Chapter 3 empty Clearwater SQL scripts and the Chapter 3 empty Northwoods SQL scripts. For 3B, and for the rest of the course, you're going to need to download and load Chapter 3 Clearwater SQL script and Chapter 3 Northwoods SQL scripts. These scripts will have all of the data in them that you'll need to complete queries. So if we were to go out and then look at these queries or these scripts, I should say, I'll go to Drive C because I put them out here on Drive C just like we've done. And if I right-click and edit on Chapter 3 Clearwater, what I'll see as soon as that loads is let's do this again, perhaps. Oh, here it is. I bet we're here. There we go. Okay, I see where we're at. Let me change the size on this so you can see this more easily. Let me pause this and get this set for you. Okay, there we go. It was acting a little strangely. It's fixed now. So what the script does, it's dropping just like the Chapter 3 empty Clearwater. Drops all the tables, creates all the tables. Remember, we have the primary key here, and then we're setting up foreign keys and all. But what it does in addition is insert values into the databases or into the tables themselves. So in this case, it's inserting into customer values, order source, orders, and so on. Now, I'm going to just minimize that for right now, and then close this. I'm going to go into SQL here, and we want to go ahead and, just as you would with Chapter 3 empty Clearwater, I'm going to start, in order to load this script, C:\Chapter 3 Clearwater, I have to learn how to spell, that's SQL. Okay, so that's going to go ahead and access that script, drop the tables, create the new tables, and then insert a whole bunch of data. And you notice at the very end it says commit complete. It's loaded all that data and saved all that data as is. Now, the next thing I want to do, because some of the examples contain that Northwoods or use that Northwoods data. Okay. Alright. So those two databases are set up. Now, how you can tell if the information loaded correctly, select star from, for instance, from Clearwater's customer. And if we have data, it worked correctly. And I think the other is select star from, is it student or students? I'm not sure which. Student. Okay. So there we have data loaded into each. Now let's go back to my PowerPoint. And it's Chapter 3B. Now, and mostly what this is going to contain is a lot of examples. You're simply querying the typical syntax for queries. Select, that means you're querying something. And then the star in this case means everything, all the data within there. And then from, which table is this from, and student is that table. So if I grab this, right click, and again, I don't care what the formatting really looks like, but we can see that that data is being loaded. So select what, from, which table. Now in this case we're selecting specific information, SID, SLAS, SFirst, and FID from student. Remember, this is just selecting information from one specific table. Okay, select SID, SLAS, SFirst, FID. All right. Now, in this case, what we're doing is selecting all those students where their SID, remember what the SID looks like? That is this. Okay. Where SID, and we're selecting, let me go back. SID, we're selecting SID, S last, F for FID, and from student where, and then where means sets up your search criteria. It's setting up your search criteria. Or SID like, now notice the syntax is like JO%. That means starts with a capital J, second letter's an O, and then the percent is a multi-character wildcard at the end. So it should pull up JO100 and JO101, and it would be JO102 and so on. Okay, it worked. Now, this is where we have the same sort of select statement from which table, where SID like JO%, okay, JO wildcard, multi-character wildcard, and, so we can do the where, and, for a, to improve the search criteria, to become a more, to create a more detailed search criteria. Okay, and FID equals 1. So FID, what we should see, these are advisors of different students. So we're going to search for JO star, where FID equals 1. So all of the Joneses or JOs that has, maybe it's Marks as an advisor. Okay, quoted string not properly terminated. Let me try it again. Okay, so what do we have wrong? Or SID, oh, right there. Great point. Notice how that single quote is turning in or out. Okay, Oracle doesn't like that. You can tell that. So I'm gonna, and Oracle likes, let me figure this out. Notice the odd looking quote, the single quote. There. Okay, so we got our result. What we should do in these cases, and I've tried to make sure I get the right single quote here. What you may have to do is copy this, go out to Notepad, we'll enter a new one, we'll paste. Notice the odd single quote. If you just simply replace it with the correct single quote, because a quote that's turned in has a different ASCII value than a quote that's just a single straight tick mark. So we have to make that a single straight tick mark, and then we're good to go. Okay, and then we'll go back into, and I'm just hitting Alt-Tab to move around. And there we go. So we just have to be watchful of that. You see the same situation here. Now we'll go on, select SID as first and as last, or SID like JO JO% multi-character wildcard, and FID is 1, and S first is Tammy. Again, look at those single quotes. I've tried in later examples to try to make those single quotes throughout with some varying levels of success, and it works just fine. PowerPoint does some funny stuff with it. There we go. Fix those, and that works. Okay, so there's an example of pulling information from a database. Now, some other examples. Select room from location where building code equals BUS. Okay, notice the single quote I have to fix. And capacity is less than or equal to 40. So we're going to grab this, and I'll just do a couple. Some of these syntax pieces are really pretty important, so do pay attention. Change that. I'll probably try to go through here and correct all of that before I repost this PowerPoint. Okay, select room from the table location where building code is BUS and capacity is less than 40. So we're displaying the room of all the buildings that meet this and this criteria. Okay, now what we're doing in this one, and that's on page 25, where grade is null, where there is no grade, where there's a lack of a grade in that particular table, this enrollment table. Now an example of that might be where an instructor hasn't entered a grade yet. Okay, that's where that looks. Now in this syntax, where grade in A or B is looking for a capital A, and since the character is within single quotes, that makes it a string character. Okay, so A or B. So this is the syntax where grade is A or B. Okay, that's what that's saying. So we're going to find all of the students that have a particular class that have an A or B in that particular class. Okay, now select star from term where term description is like, meaning equals to, but it's because it's text we're using like, or string we're using like. Percent 2006, remember the percent is a multi-character wildcard, so that should get us everything in 2006, whether it's spring, summer, or fall semesters. Okay, now the order by, that's the thing in this one. So we're going to do the same, basically the same selection as above here, and selecting building code, room capacity, from location where capacity is greater than or equal to 40. We've done that before, but order by capacity. This order by is basically a sort. So we're ordering by capacity. Now by default, the order is from lowest to highest, or A or B. But you can change that by simply type in descending. Change that particular order. There we go. Okay, so order by is a sort. It orders by ascending values from 1 to 10, A to Z, but you can also change that sort value if you want.